I've been playing New Horizons ever since it came out almost 3 years ago. And in that time, I've been building up my island and it's coming along nicely, at least in some parts. This video is not about my island though, it's about its residents. Yeah, because tonight I'm drawing all of my villages as humans. And not just with any villages, but with the villages that actually live on my island. Unlike a lot of people actually do, I think, to make their villages' yards a bit more unique, I've come up with little stories for my villages as well. Sort of hobbies and jobs that they might do. For some people I came up with more, for some people I came up with pretty much nothing. But yeah, if I came up with something, I'm going to use it. I think that's everything you need to know though, so let's start. And the first villager that I decided to draw was Queenie. Queenie is a snooty villager, so she's sort of a snob, I guess. And you're definitely going to see that with her design. And she's also an ostrich villager, so I decided to make her sort of skinny and tall. In fact, I wanted her to be the tallest villager out of them all, even though I'm pretty sure she's actually not the tallest one in-game. But she's kind of giving me those vibes. And that's actually also the reason why I drew her first. Because in the end, I of course want all of them to sort of match up, at least a little. Not entirely sure if I succeeded with that really. That's also why you will be seeing her and also other villager that I drew over time pop up again and again, just in the background, oftentimes with less opacity, because that's just me comparing everything, like the size and stuff. Queenie is one of the villages where I haven't really come up with a story or something like that. The only thing that I did come up with, and I think it's genius, I thought, what if Queenie was an artist? And what if she kind of had like a painting station in her yard? But I actually drew the painting that I wanted her to draw myself, and I made her draw her own self-portrait. Look at it! It's beautiful! But yeah, she's already done. As you can tell, we're absolutely zooming by here. So yeah, here's how Queenie turned out. I think she turned out pretty cool. And there's already the next villager coming up, and that was Ken. And yeah, you can see here what I meant when I talked about how I would use Queenie again to compare the sizes of the characters. So Ken is a smug chicken villager, and he totally has like a ninja theme going on. He's got a ninja outfit by default and a ninja house exterior and interior, and when you get him in like Happy Home Paradise and whatever it's called, he wants you to build a ninja hideout and stuff. And that's also pretty much what I went with too. In fact, I did draw him in just his default clothes because I really like them. He kind of reminds me of like the old ninja karate master type of characters that a lot of shows and movies will a lot of the times have. Just maybe a bit less old. It also says here on the Animal Crossing wiki that his name comes from the word chicken. Just the English translators being really creative once again. Let me tell you about a life-changing event that has happened to me recently. I've literally talked about how I suck at line art before and how I just can't get it to work. And I have recently found the best tip that has helped me a lot. But basically what they said was try to have the lines get thicker where you want the shadow to end up in your drawing and thinner where the light is going to be. It was really just that easy the entire time. But anyway, Ken is done. This is what he looks like. And we're going straight to the next villager, and that was Rasha. Unpopular opinion, but Rasha is actually my favorite villager. It's true, I believe in Rasha supremacy. He is a cranky pig villager, and for him, I actually do have more of a story this time. But I thought it could be a really cute idea if he's sort of like the one who takes care of broken objects around the island and stuff. And eventually I do want to build him a workshop, but that's not done yet. And I have actually given him this fitting outfit in game. Unfortunately, I don't know what it's called. And so that's also what I'm drawing him with. I completely forgot to mention it, but as you're able to see, I'm actually not recording my screen and then speeding up the footage or something like that. No, I actually use, I'm not even sure what that would be called, like a generated, like an automatically generated time-lapse by Clip Studio. And I know for a fact that it's not just a Clip Studio thing. Like, I've seen it in Procreate, and I also know that it's possible in Color, which is an app that I use. So yeah, if you're curious if that's a thing in your drawing tool too, I guess just look it up online. While I was rambling about that, we finished Russia too though, and I'm quite happy with this result. And the next villager that I drew was Bluebear. Bluebear is a peppy villager, so she talks a lot about wanting to be a pop star and such. And that's also why I made sure to give her lots of like fun little accessories that I think she would like. And she is a cup villager, so I made sure that she's one of the shortest actually. But she looks a bit taller than she actually is because I gave her these cute little space buns, and they're obviously meant to like represent her little cup ears. I think that turned out really cute. Oh, and one cool thing that I added to her design, again tying into that whole peppy theme, since I actually used a pretty large canvas, you can zoom in pretty far. And so one thing that I added to her design was glitter. You can't really see it here, but when you do zoom in all the way, you can. And I put some on her earrings and onto her nails and maybe somewhere else also, I can't remember. I guess I'll show you here, even though it's maybe a bit of a spoiler because she's not done yet, but I suppose you can tell what she's gonna look like in the end anyway. Honestly, in hindsight, I kind of wish that I added more detail to her. Maybe it's because I haven't really come up with a story for her either, so I had less to work with. I know, I kind of feel like there isn't enough going on at the moment. But regardless, I still really like her design. I think she's pretty cute. And the next villager that I drew was Cherry. Cherry is a sisterly dog, and for my design, I didn't care about that. I did care about her default outfit though. It's this spider top. Again, one of the default outfits that I actually like. And I gotta be honest, with her, I kind of didn't know what kind of pose I wanted. I was kind of running out of them. She's sort of pointing at her phone. Yeah, I don't really know. But I was thinking if anybody on my island is gonna be on social media, it's gonna be her, so I might as well use it. Oh, and can we take a quick detour maybe? Because I actually think that Cherry is one of the prime examples for Animal Crossing designers making questionable moves. Because you see, I really like her design. I think she looks really cool. Like, she has this sort of red and black theme, and then she also has like these, what color is that? Like cyan, like turquoise eyes, which are a really nice contrast in my opinion. But then whoever made her decided that the next best move would be to make her nose this like really ugly purple color. Like, why did they think this was a good idea? And with my drawing, I even tried to like add this purple as well because it is in her design after all, but I couldn't get it to work. But honestly, maybe the world is a bit better without it also, so. I just had a look at my other villages to see if they have a similar problem too, and honestly, I shouldn't have. Because I will never unsee these things. But for example, the next villager that we'll be drawing, I'm gonna spoil it right now. But it's gonna be Lionel. And I just saw Lionel has these really bright blue eyes, but then also in his ears there's like this really bright yellow detail. And again, why did they think this was a good idea? Okay, but now I got so caught up in complaining about color schemes that I completely missed Cherry's time-lapse ending. But yeah, I think she turned out pretty cool. I really like her hair. And now we're on to Lionel. So Lionel is a smug lion character, and I have to admit, he confuses me. Because the first time that I saw him, I was like, oh, he's gonna have like a royal theme for sure in his house and stuff, because he wears those kinds of clothes. But then his actual house interior is like this big city apartment sort of vibe. And then on top of that, if you get him in Happy Home Paradise, he wants you to build a house themed after toilets. I wish I was kidding. But yeah, for Lionel on my island, I decided to completely ignore all of that. If you've ever looked up inspo pics online about Animal Crossing house interiors, you've probably seen these cool people build these cool convenience stores. And I got so jealous that I really wanted to make one too. And so that's the role that I decided to give Lionel. But yeah, unfortunately none of that is done yet, so I can't really proudly present you any pictures. And with his pose, I also used literally all of the tricks. For example, his hands in his pockets and one eye closed. Oh, and the main attraction about him is obviously his socks and his sandals. That is giving me the ultimate grandpa vibes. I love it. But yeah, he's done too. And the next villager that I drew was Ribbot. So Ribbot is a frog jock. A jock frog. And he's one of the robot villagers, as you can see. And I kind of put that into his design. He ends up having like a robot arm or something, which unfortunately is also like covered up by his sleeve a bit. I have to admit I kind of forgot about that. Originally I wanted him to be like way more of a cyborg, but didn't end up including that. I still really like his design though, because you see Ribbot has like this technology science-y theme in his house, and that's also what I used to come up with the story for him, which I think is one of the coolest ones out of all of them, because his role has something to do with like the actual island itself, because I have like this town area that I showed you earlier, and then I want most of my island to be like a magical mystical forest sort of, which I also showed you earlier, but yeah, that part looks like this currently. As I'm recording this, it looks even worse. But so, my idea with Ribbot is basically that he's like a scientist who came to the island to study what is going on in that weird forest. I even covered him in this green stuff in the end as well, which I think could be this glowing moss, which is a really cool plant that the game has. But yeah, his time-lapse went by super quickly, and now we're on to the next villager, which was Nan. Nan is a goat villager, and she also has the normal personality, which for whatever reason is a personality that characters can actually have in that game. I've actually always sort of interpreted the normal villagers as like shy, I suppose. So I kind of gave her a pose like that and also an expression like that. And I actually drew her before in 2020, which if you follow me on Instagram, you saw. And I have to admit, looking back on this design honestly ain't it. I think the main reason why I don't like this is because I drew her in her default clothes back then, because I didn't really know what else to like give her as an outfit. But I actually hate that dress that she's wearing. I don't know, I guess it's kind of cute, but I also don't really like the pattern that it has. But luckily, I've since found a shirt that I actually think fits her so much better. It's this pink business jacket, and I think she looks so cute with it. And then I also gave her like a little hibiscus, I think it is, flower for her head. And so that's the outfit that I used for her human design. The only downside to this is that Nan was originally a yellow-coated character, and now she's really pink, which means that we actually didn't end up with any yellow characters in the end. I mean, you're gonna see that once I finish the other remaining two. But I also really like the pink, and I like this outfit so much more than her weird dress. So I think it was a good decision still. Yep. And next up was Zaka. Zaka is one of the few octopus villagers, and he's also lazy. And when I think of lazy villages, and also just him, I think of a literal child. I mean, with the sort of stuff that they talk about, mostly like sweets, and the bugs that live in their floor is also for some reason a reoccurring topic. But yeah, since I drew him as a small child, he actually ends up being the shortest one. I think Zaka might just be the most popular villager that I have on my island. And oh my gosh, if you are a fan of Animal Crossing and of Zaka, and you didn't know this yet, let me tell you something that'll really shock you. You see, Zaka, his design in the game, is actually based on a dish, and it's called takoyaki. And well, it's fried octopus. Yeah. And it's really quite cruel when you like take a look at him with that in mind and see, he kind of has like sauce on his head, doesn't he? And also his body is like bright red, like it was fried. But on a more wholesome note, I realized I had a child, and I realized I also had that ninja karate master from earlier, and I was thinking, what if Ken was Zaka's ninja karate master or whatever? Which ends up working out really well because they actually live right next to one another as well. So yeah, me making this video actually extended my like Animal Crossing villagers lore. But the next villagers time-lapse has already started, and that was Hazel. And this is the last one, we're almost done. So Hazel is a sisterly squirrel, and she also has a really cool story. She's actually the only villager that doesn't live in my town and instead lives in that weird forest that I talked about. Because I actually made her into a witch. So she kind of has like her own secret little area in the back of the island. And I already finished with her interior and it looks so cool. I'm actually so proud of myself for this one. Hazel actually has a couple of witchy outfits because usually whenever I just find anything that fits that theme and that would fit her, I just give them straight to her in hopes that she'll wear it. And then, you know, if you play the game yourself, you know, most of the times that doesn't work out and she wears some other trash. But for this drawing, I ended up giving her the magical dress in red and then also a red witch's hat. And I also actually did manage with this to include all of the colors that she has in game into a human design. Like with a lot of the others, I like got rid of certain colors, I changed all of the colors altogether and stuff. But with her, I managed to get all of them in there. Like there's her red, there's orange, there's pink, and even like the light blue or mint or whatever that is. Which honestly, looking at her in game kind of seems again like one of those questionable decisions by Animal Crossing designers, but actually it ended up being quite a cool color combo in my opinion. But yeah, with that, we are finally done with the final villager. Oh my goodness, this took forever. Here you can see them all lined up in rainbow order, which, you know, unfortunately yellow is missing like I mentioned, but I think it still works out. You can also compare their height here, which I suppose Hazel is kind of cheating though because she's floating. But yeah, I was kind of running out of poses and I was like, yeah, I mean, it does make sense, doesn't it? She's like magical and stuff. Oh, and I also made this sort of group photo thingy, I guess, which actually turned out a lot better than I expected, especially with Queenie and Lionel up there. Oh my gosh, I love their dynamic. With that though, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. This was actually episode 2 of a series that I want to call Draw With Me / Animate With Me perhaps as well, where I draw or animate or something like that and make you watch. I'll leave you with a link to the playlist where you can watch the first episode, which to be fair was a lot less grand. That was more of a test to see if I would like it. And if you're watching this in the future, you can also find all of the future episodes in there too. Also, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Where did all of you come from? Genuinely kind of pleasantly surprised. Okay, that's everything for today though. Bye now!